Hey guys, and welcome to today's idiot video. I figured for the first idiot video of season 2 I should do something big. So today's video comes from CBS Sunday Morning titled The Flat Earth Movement, People Who Ignore Science. With a title like that, you know that there are going to be a bunch of idiots saying stupid shit. So let's begin.
If you picture Earth as a ball spinning through space, the folks gathered at this park in Arcadia, California are eager to argue, you're wrong.
It's flatter than a pancake.
So I guess it's time to dispel this notion once and for all. According to the internet, which is obviously always right, the perfect pancake has a radius of about 5 inches and a thickness of about 3/4 of an inch. If we are to assume that the pancake is perfectly symmetrical, then we can measure the curvature drop of the perfect pancake to be 3/8 of an inch over 5 inches. Using the flat earthers' dumbed down curvature equation of 8 inches per mile squared and applying it to the scientific consensus of 3,959 miles of radius for the Earth, we can calculate that over 5 inches on the Earth, we should only see a drop of approximately 0.0032 inches. Therefore, yes, the globe Earth is flatter than a pancake, and Nathan Thompson is a fucking idiot.
They call themselves flat earthers.
Well, I call them fucking idiots.
They insist the Earth is, well, flat.
Curvature, I don't know. No one's ever seen it.
I'm sure there are a lot of things this idiot has never seen, like a full-time job, more than $500 in his bank account, and an actual sexual experience involving more than just himself.
We're living, they say, on a disk, floating through space, with a tiny sun just overhead.
The edge is a wall of ice.
The perimeter of flat Earth is a wall of ice.
That's what's holding in the ocean.
That's what's containing everything.
I have a hard time understanding how flat earthers will believe in an ice wall with a dome over a disk Earth without a single piece of evidence ever presented by anyone. No one has ever seen this fictional ice wall. There is no proof, let alone suggestion, that our physical reality is confined by a dome, and there are plenty of pictures of a globe Earth and yet not one single photo of the flat Earth. Flat earthers will believe anything but the truth, but flat earthers are fucking idiots.
And what's underneath?
Well, you know, we haven't dug that deep.
Come on, dude. Everyone knows that the Earth is sitting on the back of a big fucking turtle, or some kind of spiritual tree, or 4 pillars, or I don't even fucking know. Flat earthers, next time you have a gathering of idiots, can you please come to a consensus on a model of the fantasy land you think you exist on? Trying to follow what each of you idiots believes can be quite confusing.
Netta Hagler set up the meetup.
It's supposedly spinning at 1,000 miles per hour, but we can't feel it. I don't believe I'm spinning right now, no.
Just because you can't feel yourself moving, therefore you don't think that you are moving, does not mean that the Earth is flat and stationary. I'm sure living in California subjects you to everyday earthquakes that you simply do not feel. Does that mean that these earthquakes do not actually happen or exist? Absolutely not. You do not feel yourself spinning because the radius of the Earth is so large and we are rotating at such a slow and consistent rate. If the rotational speed were to change or stop, believe me, you would be the first idiot to know.
Probably most people who hear about it will laugh at it, think we're idiots.
Nailed it.
We're not idiots. We're intelligent people from all walks of life and all ages.
Intelligence is relative. You might be intelligent compared to a monkey, however you're not intelligent enough to be able to deduce the impossibility of the flat earth model describing reality using just sunrises and sunsets. Flat earthers are fucking idiots.
Patricia Steer is one of what you might call the stars of today's flat earth movement.
In other words, she is the dumbest of the dumb, the ditziest of the ditzes, and the idiot that all other idiots strive to be. Patricia Steer, you should be ashamed of your accomplishments. You are a fucking idiot.
which mostly orbits around YouTube.
Hey cat, catch the chat. Did you realize the earth is flat?
Now that the plane's at cruising altitude, let's start the time lapse.
Flat earthers have brought levels onto planes to prove they're flying level.
Consistently flying with a level orientation is completely expected on a commercial airline flight. However, flying level through an entire flight really only means that you are flying at the same height above sea level and not that the earth is flat. Red's rhetoric does a great job explaining to flat earthers that level and flat mean two completely different things. But still, D. Marble and other flat earthers seem to be unable to grasp the conceptual difference between the two. But D. Marble is not the sharpest shank in the prison yard. He's more like the plastic spork that you get with your fast food breakfast. That's right, D. Marble is a fucking idiot.
And we've been lied to on such a massive scale.
And zoomed in on the moon and found clouds drifting, supposedly, behind it.
Wow, clouds behind the sun. Really? The highest clouds in the sky are around 50,000 feet in altitude, meaning that seeing the sun with the clouds behind it means that the sun is at least less than 10 miles in altitude. Since the cruising altitude of commercial airliners is around 30,000 feet, it would be a common occurrence to see the sun in close proximity to a plane as it flew nearby. However, no pictures have ever been taken of a close sun, and no flight plans are adjusted for the presence of a glowing gas ball in the sky. Either the sun is playing one hell of a game of hide and seek with airplanes, or flat earthers are just fucking idiots.
Patricia Steer agreed to play a game of 20 questions, Cosmic Edition.
Photos of the Earth from space.
Completely and utterly false.
And the disingenuous characteristic that defines all flat earthers comes to light. It is impossible to believe in the flat earth and accept the actual pictures of the earth as real. They happen to be mutually exclusive. So presenting a flat earther with a picture of the earth, real or fake, will be met with blind denial, as this idiot is demonstrating here.
Is the sun 93 million miles away?
No, the sun is not as far away as we've been told, nor is the moon. They're probably about the same size.
And what is the evidence to support this assertion? Having a small localized sun and moon is not only illogical, but impossible as well. Having a small moon and sun on a circular circuit just does not comport to our observational reality. Nor does a small sun and moon allow for proper predictions on sunrise location and times for every person on Earth. And I dare you to ask a flat earther when the predicted dates of the next 10 solar and lunar eclipses are going to be and for how long they will last. All of which is answered definitively with predictable accuracy by the globe Earth model. If you think you know why flat earth idiots deny observational reality and the flaws of their flat earth model, please leave a comment below.
How about those photos of the astronauts who look like they're floating around on the space station?
Completely fake. Harnesses, wires.
Okay, so some of the photos could be faked if someone really wanted to do so, and some of the videos could be possible to create using parabolic flight and wire harnesses. However, how do flat earthers explain the videos that are clearly too long to be on a parabolic flight and scenes like the following one where there is no way for the objects to behave the way they do using harnesses? Flat earthers simply have no explanation for these videos and seem to cherry pick the shorter ones or the single astronaut videos that have alternate possible explanations. I've already said it multiple times, but flat earthers are the most disingenuous people on the globe, and that's the main reason I think they are all a group of narcissistic cultist idiots like Patricia Steer.
Did we really go to the moon?
No, we didn't go to the moon, and we don't have a rover on Mars, and we didn't do a flyby of Pluto, and we've never been to space. Period. End of.
We did go to the moon, therefore space does exist. I'm going to accept the fact that we have a rover on Mars and the Pluto flyby was real because I don't see how the government would benefit from lying about either of those claims to the American people. However, I can honestly admit that while I don't have personal knowledge whether they are actually true or not, I choose to believe the overwhelming evidence presented as truth.
In short, flat earthers don't believe much of anything unless they see it for themselves. They say NASA is just a part of a massive conspiracy.
This is simply not true about flat earthers. They will blindly accuse all evidence coming from NASA as false and in the same breath blindly accept what some fucking idiot nutjob flat earther claims on YouTube to be true because it follows with their belief system. Hardly ever does it have to do with their personal experiences. The only thing a true flat earther is loyal to is their own failed belief system.
It's a giant game of chess. We, all of us in humanity, are the pawns. Part of the whole flat earth thing is keeping us locked down, not knowledgeable about who we are, who we really are as people, and what we're capable of.
And what does that even have to do with the shape of the earth? If that was the case, the government will be telling us that space is completely empty and not worth exploring any further. The budget to NASA would be cut and applied elsewhere. Instead, it is consistently used to send rockets and satellites into space. If it was just to get our money and put it in their own pockets, then why spend millions of dollars sending rockets and satellites into space that would obviously not benefit the benefactors of the stolen tax money? If the powers of the world knew that we were living under a dome controlled by a supernatural being, don't you think the leaders of the world would all be extremely religious? When flat earthers can answer these questions with a straight face, I will be more willing to take them seriously. Until then, I will continue to believe that they are merely modern day jesters here to entertain us with their stupidity. Because flat earthers are fucking idiots.
Do you think something new is happening?
I do think something new is happening. People have really become obsessed with the idea that if it's not part of their direct experience, it can't be true.
Tom Nichols takes a dim view of flat Earth. A national security expert, he teaches at the Harvard Extension School.
You remain champion.
He also won Jeopardy! 5 times.
People have lost faith in experts. We've developed a kind of reverse snobbery that says if you have a great deal of education, if you're at a well-known institution, by definition, you must be a liar.
And this is precisely why flat earthers will never be more than the idiots they are today. Flat earthers will get to a point at which the understanding of math and science requires upper level instruction from someone who is either smarter or more qualified than them. If that person is not a flat earther themselves, then they are part of the conspiracy and are here to lie to us. And if they are a flat earther, which they are typically not, then that person becomes the authority on all things. This is also why they are social outcasts, because society can only handle so many disingenuous idiots claiming that the people who have dedicated their lives to improving ours are merely pawns in a game designed to keep us down.
Nichols poured his expertise into a book about the death of expertise.
Oftentimes, younger people will say, well, the internet is just a big library. That's wrong. The internet is a big dumpster. There's no guarantee that anything you find on it is true.
Hey, flat earthers, maybe you guys should start paying close attention to what this guy is saying, because I believe he is speaking directly to you people.
It's more democratic, isn't that good?
No, when it comes to knowledge, more democratic is not good. Absolutely not. We don't decide how fast things accelerate in a vacuum by voting on it.
So a couple of points here I would like to discuss. The first and most obvious is what he closed with. Knowledge is not democratic. We can't vote to determine what our reality is. We must continue to push our scientific understanding to the limits and prepare to be wrong in most situations. That is the only way for us to advance through the era of knowledge and technology we are in today. However, flat earthers would absolutely like to send us back 4,000 years in scientific and medical advancements. Can you really blame me for consistently calling them fucking idiots? Second, I would like to touch on the difference between freedom of speech and responsibility for what you say. I am a free speech advocate, so I believe that everyone with a voice has a right to speak their mind and express their beliefs. But when they want to push their beliefs as empirical facts, I do think it is the government's obligation to step in and ensure that the audience understands what the truth actually is and holds the purveyor of misinformation responsible. Very similar to the way that wootards and snake oil salesmen can be held liable for making false medical claims. Having and expressing the opinion that you believe the earth is flat is okay, but pushing that opinion as fact is not. I personally wish there were more debunkers like myself ready to shut down all this nonsensical bullshit before it ever takes root. Okay, so I think we're going to stop the video here. There will be a link in the description if you'd like to watch the rest of the video, but it's about Mad Mike and his attempt to determine whether the earth is flat or round from only about 1,800 feet up in a homemade rocket. Talk about delusions of grandeur and bad, life-threatening decision making. All part of what it takes to build a flat earth idiot from scratch. Now I'd like to take the time out to thank CBS Sunday Morning for highlighting this group of idiots and putting them all in one video, making it easier to take them all out at once. I do think this is a short trend that the media is going through to help push their numbers through the roof, and I don't think we are going to have to be subjected to too much more of this nonsense in the future. I also want to thank all of my subscribers for sticking around through my recent absence. I've truly missed you guys, and making this video reminded me so much about why I love being a content creator on YouTube. Until our next video, I'm Father Skeptic, and I'm out.